Welcome to the Boxing Oasis podcast. In boxing, the fans want to know one thing: who is the best? Unfortunately, with political factors such as the existence of 4 world championships across the various governing bodies, rival promotional outfits that often refuse to work together, and fighters that will sometimes refuse to risk their undefeated record and their reputation, it's rare that we ever get an undisputed champion in a specific weight division. However, this is the road to Undisputed, where we will be looking at each weight division to see who the current champions are, who's deemed to be the best, and what fights need to happen to get us to the position where we can crown an undisputed champion. Let's start with the big boys, the heavyweights, in what could be the simplest of all. All 4 major belts are split between 2 men. First off, Anthony Joshua. AJ holds the WBA, IBF and WBO titles. The other title, the WBC, is held by his fellow Brit Tyson Fury. Tyson also has claim to the lineal championship, having beaten Vladimir Klitschko back in 2015. There are very few who would dispute that these two have the strongest claim to be considered the undisputed champion, and hopefully they will meet later this year for the first fight of a potential 2-fight deal. Will it happen? Well, let's hope so. Apparently the financial split has been agreed, and so it will come down to logistics of venue, date and TV deal. This final point could be a stumbling block, as they are both signed to different UK networks, Fury to BT Sport and Joshua to Sky. However, we've seen multiple times in the past networks coming to agreements for fights of this magnitude. Regarding where and when, obviously the major issue at present is the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, which could rule out the fight happening in the UK. However, there are other areas globally, particularly the Middle East, that would be very lucrative options and where COVID is no longer as serious an issue. Beyond that, there would be minor issues to iron out, such as who walks out first, whose name is read out first, etc. However, with the money on offer, you'd have to think that these things would be worked out. Another spanner in the works could be the WBO mandatory, Alexander Usyk. Having won the WBO Super Championship at Cruiserweight, he has the right to move weight classes and automatically become mandatory. This is now due, so unless Usyk accepts a financial offer step aside, the WBO are well within their rights to strip Joshua of the title if he chooses to fight Fury next rather than Usyk. Both Hearn and Joshua have made it clear they would be willing to drop the title rather than lose the fight with Fury. If this was the case, Usyk would be matched against the next highest available rated opponent to fight for the vacant title. At present, this would be another Brit, Joe Joyce, who recently called out Usyk after his victory over Daniel Dubois. If this were to play out, you would hope that the winner of Usyk versus Joyce would then step up and take on the winner of Fury and Joshua to give us our first ever 4-belt undisputed heavyweight champion, and the first undisputed champion since Lennox Lewis in 1999, when we were still in the 3-belt era before the WBO title was universally recognised. The other potential issue would be the legal challenge of Deontay Wilder. He apparently had a rematch clause following his last bout with Fury, but according to Fury promoter Bob Arum, this expired, and so Tyson is free to move forward. We'll see if anything happens with the challenge and whether Wilder is serious or just trying to save face following his crushing defeat last year. So if we do get a Fury versus Joshua showdown, who wins? Fury to me is clearly the better boxer of the two, with incredible boxing skills and movement, plus significant height and weight advantage. However, he's been shown to be vulnerable, having been knocked down numerous times in his career, and Joshua undoubtedly has the power to do so again. Joshua's boxing skills should not be underestimated. While he doesn't have Fury's slick footwork, he's very effective both on the outside with a ramrod jab and on the inside, especially with his uppercuts, which have become his trademark. It's a tough one to call. If they were to fight 10 times, I'd say Fury wins 7 or 8 to Joshua's 2 or 3. But let's hope we do find out later this year. Well, that's for now on the road to Undisputed. That's all for now on the road to Undisputed. We'll be back very soon when we'll be looking at the cruiserweights and bridgerweight. See you soon.